Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I am the Motorcycle Rescuer and this is of course Motorcycle Rescuer. So yes, welcome back to the channel. What video did you see last? Well, you would have seen work on this, last bits and pieces on this. All good, all done, all dusted. It's up for $9.50, it's ready to go. No bites in 24 hours at that price at the moment, but it will, it absolutely will. Anyone who knows my bikes and who's seen what I do to them, even just basic oil changes, once you've done the work on the bikes, they're bound to last longer than your bog standard bike that you might go out and buy off marketplace, for example. It's worth having all the stuff done and documented so that, you know, new owners can see it. So $9.50 all day long. $9.50 for this 3 years ago would have been high. Nowadays it's not. $12.50 is probably about what this is really worth in today's kind of climate, which is sad, really. But a lot of these new Chinese bikes are now £3,200, and that's not about quality change. It's the same quality. It's about society change. It's about our economy. So second-hand prices are going up as well. And I'm not part of that game. I'm not playing that game. I'm not advertising for $12.50. This is a nice bike. It's going to have someone on the road for a year or two for £950, and with its year's MOT, and I stand by that. This one will probably be something similar. It'll be up and ready in a couple of weeks. I know Gary isn't asking a lot of money for it, but it's probably going to be worth maybe $9.50 as well, as long as it passes MOT and runs and rides well. Last week you saw that it would start up and idle, you know, pretty much as long. I idled it for a good 10-15 minutes in the end, but it wouldn't rev properly, so I'm going to show you that basic carb cleans can sort out them kinds of issues. Let me grab the keys, let's see if it even starts. Let's idle it and I'll show you what I mean about the throttle response. Key, let's fire it. Now we'll give it a minute to warm up and then I'll show you what I mean about throttle response. Anyone who's watching this video, this is what your bike might be doing. It might be lagging at a certain throttle response, and this is what you should be checking with all bikes. I could fire this zontes up now and I could show you exactly what I mean, but let's let this keyway warm up and we'll have a look at the throttle response. At the moment it's idling. That means the idle jet is fine, okay, to an extent it's fine. If you use the first quarter of the throttle and it revs okay, like this, listen, then generally that jet's okay. Don't worry about a bit of rattling, the exhaust is just mocked on, okay, so it's loose. So any noises you're hearing are quite normal at this stage. Half throttle, if you get any bog or it wants to cut out, then you've got an issue there with your main jet. Let's have a look, half throttle. Also, there's two ways you can do this. If you creep up to the half throttle and it works, that doesn't mean half throttle's okay. So I'll show you creeping up. Oh, it's still lagged there, even creeping up. But if you creep up slower, you can get it there. But if you just get it there, it's not having it. Now you can also try full throttle here. Okay, so that's a really quick way of testing that your bike is doing normal things. You should be able to go half throttle and it throttle. You should be able to go full when it throttle. There should be no lag. None of that should be happening. But we knew it would be because this carb needs to come off. It needs to have a bit of a clean. So that's what we're going to do today. We've also got a brand new chain for it. I don't know if I got sprockets. Gary ordered, so I don't know if I got sprockets as well. But we've definitely got a chain, which is good. This chain is definitely past it. It has one fixed spot in it, which I probably could have broke loose, but a new chain for whatever it costs, 20 quid, well worth it. I think I'm going to show you a carb clean. I think it's really important. Let's pop it off. I'm going to show you a really quick version of a carb clean that will work, you know, and we'll see it works because I'll fire it back up at some point and you'll see that it should be better. I say should because this carb's been off and on a couple of times. Some of the other things you need to check when doing all these tests is that is this boot cracked? Is the connection boot cracked? Is the carb connected properly? Make sure there's no air going in and stuff like that. But for me, I'm going to be loosening up the air box. I'm going to be popping the carb off and out and giving it a clean. I may keep it connected to the throttle, or I may pop it back, pull it to the side and clean it here on the bike. That shows you that you don't have to go too nuts. It can all be done here in situ as well. So I'm going to see how much play I get if I pop it out to the other side. Okay, so here's my setup. All I've done is I've left it on the throttle cable. I've just pulled the carb out. I'm just going to be working at the bottom of the carb, and I'll explain as I go along what I'm doing, so you'll see. Now all my stuff is here that I'm using. I've got a pot. When I spray through the jets, I'll be spraying into the pot because I want them to soak a little bit. Bit of WD-40, other bits and pieces. Let's start with the basics. Fuel's off and disappeared because otherwise fuel will spill out. I've left it all connected, choke and everything's connected. Let's see if we can get these off. Any fuel that spills out now, let it. Ideally I would catch this. I thought I'd already drained it. Normally I would catch that and dispose of it, but if you get a little drip, you get a little drip. I'm not overly worried about that. That one's fine. That one's fine. How many? Wow, only 2. That's really interesting. So let's pop this bolt off and see what we're looking at from there. So 1 screw, make sure you keep them. 1 screw, make sure you keep them. There, let's pop this bolt off. Let's see. We're you know, that is bad. That gunk there will constantly go back through the jets. You can see it. It's been sucked through the jets, sucked through and clogged, and that will not work. It will never work. So this needed a good clean. Let's start with, this is brake cleaner. Carb cleaner will also work. Brake cleaner is very good. I'm just going to douse it in here with this and let it soak and sit. It's very strong stuff. Kind of, you want to play with it a bit, everything will loosen up, and then I will of course agitate it and make sure it's all out. While we're here, we'll just get a bit on and in here just to help us out. Now from there we need to think about this jet here, because I can see it's not good, it's got the crap on it, but this is your main jet, so I want to get the jet out and I want to get the holder out. One of the ways you can check how good or bad these are is by looking through them. This is a main jet, it should have a big old hole, definitely clogged up, this one. And then these side jets need to be clear as well. If you did have a spray cleaner now, that would be really helpful. When you're spraying through here, mind your eyes. That's what we want. There you go. Look. We will have a smaller jet in there and an air fuel jet in there. Let me show you what we do with that. With the air fuel jet, that's this one here, it will always be in the side. Sometimes it will be at the bottom, but it won't be hidden, it will be accessible. I want to count what we're set at by going in till it stops. So, half a turn, 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 just under half. So we're 2 3/4 out on that setup. Now I'm going to pull the jet out. Now be careful, there will be there's a spring in here and a little washer. Come on, there you go. You're going to want to see and have the spring, otherwise it's useless, it won't work. You're going to want to give this a clean. For now, it will just go in the same bath as the other one. There you go. Let's get the idle jet out though. That's this one up in here. You don't need to count anything here. You just undo the jet. There's no springs. When you think it's undone, just pop it out onto your hand. There you go. And we've got a little jet there. Again, have a look through. That is that's very, very blocked. Lucky it was doing anything. Again, I'm going to pop it into this solution. Give it a rinse. Alright guys, so I've cleaned the bowl out as best as I can. You have to do it a lot. You really have to get it as clean as possible. No point putting it back on otherwise. You can hear Danny in the background. Danny's the one we never show his bike on the channel. And this is it. So I'm going to chuck all this back on and nip it all up. That bit's easy because we didn't undo any of the wires or anything. So that back on, all in its boot, tighten it up. And then you should see that it will rev up like normal again. I have no doubt actually, it might even run and ride. I might even give it a little spin just to get it, just to loosen it up a bit. So let me do that. I'm going to do it off camera because you don't need to see that basic boring part. And then I'll fire it up and we'll see if we have our throttle response back. You want them to see your new hairstyle? I'm not sure if I'd call that a new hairstyle.
Look guys, shave my head baldy.
Looks like you're about to be shot out of a cannon.
Look at Van Diesel.
Van Diesel? More like that little guy on Britain's Got Talent who used to dance with his dad.
Oh, that, yeah, the Spanish one.
Yeah. Greek, weren't they?
Oh yeah, Greek, yeah, Greek.
Spanish. That sounds better. Let me just shut the airbox on. Okay. What pipe? Right guys, I just want to nip down the exhaust and then we'll fire it back up again and we'll just see and hear it. I didn't realise that one of the bloody foot pegs is missing on the other side. Look, someone nicked it. It's probably Rabjay. So let me nip up the exhaust and then throw a bolt in here and yeah, maybe put that on in case I want to give it a quick test run. Alright guys, let's check this throttle response. Alright, exhaust is nipped up now. Quarter. Half. I'm glad that worked because I looked like a right idiot after the first carb clean and it didn't work. I had to kind of do the carb again guys, top to bottom. I took it off, I took the diaphragm off, I took it all off and I did it all properly. I'm going to throw that peg on the other side, just give it a quick run up and down the street just to loosen up the brakes and stuff, and then I'm going to change the chain. I've got a brand new one. Alright, tyres pumped, gear lever on loosely.